Hey guys, Neil here. I thought I'd make a quick video on the actual operational element, the specs of the Witson S160 Toyota Hilux radio. As you might recall, we opted for this one because it looks stock. There you can see. It really does look like, if you look at the frame and the buttons, it looks like the OEM version. You might also recall from my previous video I was quite worried about the steering wheel controls. What I could perhaps do is show you that those work so long. For example, if you go to radio, you can go volume down. You can see that has worked out quite well. You can skip channels. See, that works. You can go to different mode by clicking on mode. And you can mute, and if you hit the phone button, it'll bring up the phone screen. Alright, so happy that actually works out well. Let me show you some more functions about this radio. There are some reviews on Witson's website and on YouTube, but those are all Chinese mostly, and some American ones, but I find that it's not always relevant. Right, we have two parts to this thing. The first part is the radio part. Alright, this is what we see right now. This is the screen that greets you when it boots up. Looks quite nice. I like the user interface. It looks good. I haven't found a way to change this, by the way, but I don't think I'd want to. I think it looks quite nice. Then we've got a navigation side of things. The navigation works very well. It's proper GPS, but I do prefer Google Maps. It's just more user friendly and easier to work with and use. But here you can see it works fairly well. Nice thing is it won't cost you money because it's through GPS, so no data charges there. Then we have what we got here, an internet browser, which is interesting for radio. And if you look at the bottom here, you'll see I've got a little 3G dongle that turns 3G into Wi-Fi into the area. So I've hooked my radio onto the Wi-Fi, which you can do because it's also a tablet. And here, if you go onto the internet, it should load a website for us. I've recently gone to a Hilux website. Let's see if it's still open. There we go. And there you go, Hilux website working, and I'm online with my car radio. Interesting stuff. Alrighty, go back to our home page. You've got your basic DVD that displays a DVD. iPod I haven't tried yet. My iPod is not operational at this stage. Music, if you had music on an SD card or on a USB drive, you play it from, you see it in there. I don't have any music on any of those media right now. And radio is radio. It shows you RDS, it searches itself, it finds radios and stores them. It's very good. Then if you scroll to the right, you've got some settings. You have, again, video will show any videos you've got loaded on any media, like if you've plugged in a USB card, a USB drive, or a memory card. Gallery, same, good photos. Aux I've hooked up to an actual camera. So this is a front-facing camera. It's actually mounted on the front of my vehicle. A2DP, that's again your Bluetooth. That's just the audio version thereof. So your music, that handles all the music from your Bluetooth device. TV, I'm not sure how that works. I haven't at all played or touched that. File Explorer shows you any files you've got set up. You can see I've got a hard drive in here, GPS, and an SD card hooked up here, and you can go into more detail there. Then if you go, settings. On vehicle settings, you can see all sorts of things. Now these are things you can use to set as reminders. Some of them can plug into the back of the radio. Lamp check, handbrake check, reverse check, reversing mute, reversing boot, key sounds, reverse guidelines, key colors, navigation app. I must find out how you can load different navigation apps. Maybe you can load Google Maps, I'm not sure. That's very handy. Then you can go into sound settings, which I find very intuitive. You can just really drag this around your vehicle and it splits the sound different sides of the vehicle. So on the left, for example, you can set it to go left or right or whatever you want to do with it, and it'll store that. Then we've got our mixers. Here you can set your sound exactly how you like it, and if you've got more details you want to go into, there we go, you can mix it even more if you want to set up it that way. I didn't go to that effort, I'm not that fussy about how it sounds, but here's some more controls on the gain, and here you can see what volumes you are input or outputting on which items, so startup volumes and so forth. So very handy, very intuitive, and I think lots of functionality there. Our last screen on our, if I can call it, radio side is just this one here. Sound settings we've talked about. Clock is just a clock up here. SWC, that's our steering wheel controls, that's where you set it up. Now mine's already set up, you can see it's all labeled, but it's very easy to set up and it works like a charm. Calendar I've actually set up on the tablet side of things. So that really is what the radio side of things has to offer. Then if you hit this little Android button, there we go, now we're in tablet mode. Tablet mode, you can do most of the things you can do in radio mode. You can listen to radio, you can check your files or whatever you want to do as a normal tablet. But what I find very handy is, because it's a tablet, you can also hook it up to the Google Play Store, and that means you can download all sorts of cool applications. For example, Google Maps should work on this device if you want to use Google Maps. I use Google Play Music because I stream my music as I drive. Now obviously we've got some bandwidth issues in SA, but I find it amazing. I mean, I can search for a band or I can search for a genre of music and just stream that. You know, if you have other streaming services, you can use it. DVR is something I'd like to warn you about. I thought that I could hook a normal camera onto and this thing will control it as a DVR. It does not work that way. You have to in fact buy the Witson DVR camera. There's a special plug at the back of the radio which didn't come with it standard. Here you can see I've got my calendar set up, I've got my searches set up, I've got my Play Store set up, the Wi-Fi is hooked up, my location is pinned. I promise the Bluetooth does work, my phone must just be dying. Righty, what else do we have? We've got all the basics, guys. That looks familiar, like any sort of, I think, Android tablet would more or less look like. And this is a brilliant radio. It does so well. It's quick and responsive. The sound's good. It takes like a few seconds to boot up, but still an amazing product. I hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you.